Right. Hey, what's going on, party people? Well, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure having you in. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer, and as a spiritual healer, technically what I do, excuse me, is that I assist other people in becoming in alignment with who they are. And you do so pretty much by unifying your emotions with your intellect. But for you to do that, you have to understand how your emotions work, and if you have any type of blockages, how to remove them. And but most importantly, you would also have to understand how you are um, how your mind is being controlled. Is it being controlled by you, or is it being controlled by other people? Meaning you have to understand, but for you to even get there, you would have to understand your intellectual conditioning. So quite often, that's why I just leave it there. So you have to understand, once you understand your intellectual conditioning, in so many words, like that's you taking power of the way your mind works. And that process is the self-awareness, pretty much. But it's also the combination, the unification of having what is called your mind with your heart, because they have to go hand in hand. Do you see what I'm saying? Most people would lead you to believe like your intellect is better than your emotions. And that is not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like having knowledge but no feelings. Do you see what I'm saying? Or, being smart or having knowledge but there's no passion, no emotion. Because when that happens, technically you become rigid. Now, if you ever seen the movie Judge Dredd, you become just like this motherfucker. Without emotion, then you become one-sided. The law's the law. You can recite them. This is a perfect depiction or symbolism of just being the intellect. You become rigid, like you just don't see the bigger picture. And also, let's just say if you become emotional, that's like, okay, love with no understanding. It's blind love. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all went through it. We had to learn. Unfortunately, a lot of us never really got to learn the lesson. We just choose not to love. Because the pain, like you unfortunately, and that's why it's important for the mind and your emotions to come together, because the mind at this point is processing, or it's understanding what the emotions is saying. That's why in the occult they say you have to heal the wounded child. That wounded child pretty much is that emotional hurt that you have, right? But for you to you need to understand it. But first you have to acknowledge it. And that's when all your forgiveness comes in. You know what I'm saying? You got to forgive, you got to do all that shit. But the bottom line is pretty much, in order for you, for the mind and the body, I'm sorry, for your mind and your emotion to come together, or the intellect with your feelings or intuition to come together, you have to have a clear understanding, a clear mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's because, then you just have a blinded love. If I'm going back to, we're talking about a blind love, right? Because you don't want to love blindly. You want to love with your eyes open, meaning with understanding. Only then, right, you can honestly, you don't want to cast your pearls before swine. It doesn't make sense. I'm not wasting myself to nobody. Nigga, please. I'm too cocky for that shit. I'm too bougie for that shit. The fuck? I ain't gonna waste myself, man. You know what I'm saying? In fact, this is what we're gonna be talking about tonight too. About being yourself. And as cliche as it may sound, this is actually very profound though. Once you start delving into, the different layers of yourself and what it means, but most importantly, how it affects your life. Because knowledge is represented by a tree because it affects you in many areas of your life. So, if you're coming back, you already know what we're doing here. I'm already doing it. So, get your plate. It's a Holy Communion. You know what I'm saying? The body of Christ. You know what I'm saying? Amen. No, we good to go, niggas. So, but now, especially if this is your first time, I always like to take a little bit of time to talk about spirituality, what spirituality is, right? So real quick, I'm not going to spend too much time on that because we got some other stuff to talk about. But it's always good, especially if this is your first time. I mean, I'm expecting, you know what I'm saying, to see new fucking faces every day. But, if you're coming back, you already know. You know every time, you know what I'm saying, I show up, there's something for you, baby. So, well, we're talking about spirituality, pretty much. We're talking about you. A lot of times, not to say most of the time, our interpretation of what spirituality is, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like you have to, you look at the monks. You're looking at somebody with a piece of towel or a piece of cloth like wrap around your ass. Or you're looking at religion pretty much, right? Or if that's not the case, you think it's something, it's not, it has nothing to do with your regular life. In other words, you're living your life saying to yourself, spirituality ain't got shit on you. Meanwhile, you are a spirit because everything you do is spiritual. But for you to get to that understanding of yourself, you would need to be devoted to yourself. You need to dig deeper. You would need to go within. And that's why in the occult or voodoo, we all do the same shit. That's what we're talking about. So you introspecting into the mystère, which is the mystery, the side of you that you don't know. That is not physical. So the occult now is dealing with you now, you know what I'm saying, wanting to understand who you are or how you work. Pretty much because the mystery is you. Once this is revealed, that's when you see that we are saying that we are a spiritual being. That's why we're telling you are divine. But for you to attain that state of mind, it's important for you to delve in. You got to go within. And that's what the occult is saying this is a hidden culture. Not hidden in the sense of it's keeping away from you, but you got to find it. When something is hidden, you got to look for it. That's the idea behind it. Not that it's being hidden from you, like we don't want you to have it, or some secret society and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not what, the occult is about. Although we had mystery school, but the meaning of that wasn't because of it's mysterious. But it was more because we understand, when I found out, Plato, I think, was it Plato? This nigga, he had to wait 20 years just to be admitted into the Egyptian mystery school. I'm like, fuck that nigga. Let me get into these niggas. And that's when I didn't know these niggas were niggas. You know what I'm saying? But you understand, we're all victim of that shit. But it's all good. But I'm saying all of that to show you, you know, how when you know, if I'm telling you to be you, this is being yourself. It's a fully loaded statement. Because if you are embracing yourself, it's a lot deeper than what you think it is. It's your emotions, it's your intelligence, it's your intuition. But now all of these things at that point, it has to be manifested somewhere. That's why the purpose of you becoming spiritual is to materialize your spirituality. In other words, you have to humanize yourself. Or the words has to be made flesh. How do you want it? So as a spirit, which is already your essence, you humanize yourself. Now understand the reason why you're doing this is not to secularize yourself in a sense, because that's what the physical body had pretty much become. It's something secular. It stays on that side. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not part of this sect here. That's where the confusion comes in. That's where the illusion comes in. So to be yourself, like it's almost like saying, yeah, man, it's to be enlightened. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's to be enlightened. Otherwise, you wouldn't be yourself. So it is a state of consciousness. Now, that state of consciousness, you know what I'm saying, is being projected in many different ways. You express yourself. There's a certain way the spirit expresses itself in a romantic relationship. There's another way you express yourself to your kids, to your mom, to your dad. So now to be yourself is fully loaded. There's a whole lot that's being said here. So now, but now there's layers in it too, though, right? There's layers in it. And because we are living pretty much in the multi-dimensional, spaces. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's different levels of understanding in everything. The way you used to look at things at, let's say, 20 years old, now that you're 30 or now that you're 25, you shouldn't be looking at it. I'm hoping you're not looking at it the same way. Because, there's a lot of people that are left behind, B. There's a bunch of people that are left behind. And we don't have to, what I'm saying, call them out. Well, we're just saying. Those are your haters. Those are your, but anyway. That's why it's important for you to master your humanity. Again, it all comes back to understanding your intellectual conditioning, right? Because it plays a big part on how you're thinking. How can you be you if you're not thinking for you? So you got to have you thinking for you, right? So then you have mastered you, nigga. Like, what the fuck? feel me? Yeah, nigga. That's right. Mean. Love it. Oh, yeah. Woo. I gotta wash it down real quick. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I always, that's why I tell people about understanding the difference between the true self, your ego, and your false self. In fact, if everybody was already being who they are, that statement wouldn't even have any, it wouldn't even exist. It wouldn't mean anything. But anyway, that was random. So we need that. But what I'm also saying here, most importantly, to get back to what I was talking about, yeah, that was so random. To get back to what I was saying, was talking about here, in terms of understanding the layers, but most importantly, how important it is to understand how you are conditioning, or how your mind is being conditioned. Because when you know how that's being done, you have a better chance of mastering who you are, or mastering your thinking. At least get your thinking to work for you. So to be you on so many different layers, it also means you have to follow your passion, because the spirit is expressing itself in so many different areas. But that state of consciousness, as far as you are being yourself, and that's why it's not cliche at all. It's like it's fully loaded. So as now you are being yourself, it's like, and there are so many different aspects of you. You have your emotions, you have your talent, your skills. So life is pretty much all about to be yourself, meaning you have to be the spirit that you are. You have to become radiant. You got to be open. We got to be open. And being open also means having a meaningful life. A lot of people are going through life just for the sake of having a fucking experience. Because think about it. Why would you marry somebody if you're not fully in love with that person? So a lot of us, what we're truly doing, we are closed off and we're trying to open. So we're going against ourselves, because yourself is naturally to open up. That's why we are love. That's why, if you remember, before you have your guards up, you wanted to put that shit down, nigga. Like, you didn't want to carry that shit at all. Everybody wanted to put their guards down, but after they got hurt, now this is a whole different story. Now, you know what I'm saying, some of us are bitching up, and some of us are, it was just a cut. You know what I'm saying, something you had to learn. So how are you processing that type of experience has to do with the way your mind is being conditioned. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't understand how your mind is being conditioned, at this point it's confusion. Now you're getting these feelings, you don't understand how you feel, you're not processing it, you don't know what the fuck's taking place. It's fucking confusion. And that's what toxicity is. You wildin'. Like a motherfucker. It's fucked out there. Woo! A nigga that you married with, let's just say, or a bitch, vice versa, you know what I'm saying? the bottom line of what I'm saying here is this, like, damn, man, if you're a nigga, that should be a bitch. Yo, listen, you can't wait to get home, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't wait to see that bitch. You know what I mean? And she's cooking too, and her cooking, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know what I mean? Nigga. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, you want to be there. And that bitch now, god damn, you know what I'm saying? But if you fucking everybody else out there, and then, you know what I'm saying, you're getting married, like, what is the point? Or if you're not in love with somebody, man. So, to be yourself, you know, like, it's fully loaded. It's a fully loaded statement. Because it pretty much implies all of those different areas of you. And for you to embrace, and that's why you say you gotta love yourself, man. You cannot love anybody else if you don't love yourself. All that shit is all spiritual. That's what your spiritual work is about. That's why your humanity is your divinity, nigga. It's your spirituality. But it's important for you to know how you're looking at it too. You know what I'm saying? How are you looking at it? Make sure you're not looking at it wrong, baby. You know what I'm saying? Look at this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So, being yourself is pretty much, you know what I'm saying, like, it's to be open. Because naturally your essence is divine. So now in the occult, as you are delving into the depth nest of yourself, trying to understand who you are, now you're doing what is called the shadow work. Analyzing what was taking place, why did you react a certain way, and what happened, and then now you're going back to change it. Now that's when you're able to be like, I forgive you. I forgive you, motherfucker. Mean at that point you let go because you were holding on. The wounded child is the part of you that hold on to it. It has not been acknowledged. That's why you always be triggered. It's not loosed up, man. It's an obstacle. It's stopping you, baby. You know what I'm saying? But that would also be, you know, understanding how your emotions work. That's why the mind, the intellect, and your emotion have to come together. You don't want to have a blind, you don't want to be, well, you could be in a blind date, but you don't want a blind love, though. You don't want no blind love. You're going to pay for that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be in a relationship where you're not sharing yourself, your true self. What are you doing? So you're cheating yourself. Well, all of that started at a very young age. How your intellect was being conditioned, but you didn't even know. And that's what I call the false self. You know, you've been wired to think that way. And that's what having a European perspective is pretty much all about too. You see what I'm saying? Then now you've been taught at a very young age, you know what I'm saying, you've been not fully loved. Now, if you're trying to open, they telling you no, that's not what you got to do. This is how you need to behave. I want to be a musician. Oh, now, motherfucker, you got to be a lawyer. You got to be a doctor. Or, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on. And I'm just trying to point those out to let you know we all been conditioned by that type of system, by those bullshit. And in other words, you've been molded not to be you. That's why they call it the false self. Then now you define yourself with your accomplishment instead of your fulfillment. That's why you're never fulfilled, because you're not complete. In other words, you're not fully open. When your intuition is telling you one thing, but yet you're working at a dead-ass job, like you're not fulfilled. Now, when they say, when you do something you love, well, how the fuck they say that shit? If you do something you never work, that's bullshit. But what they're trying to say is, you would work even more. But what they're trying to say is, work is not going to feel like work. You're fully engaged. You're fully active. That's you being yourself. You know what I'm saying? Me talking about this shit, that's me being myself. Times a billion. Shit, every single cells in me is activated at this point, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm right at home. You know what I'm saying? That's what put a smile on my face, man. I love it. Most importantly, you know, it's a reflection of me. God loves God, man. It's beautiful. Can you tell I'm in love? I'm in love. Well, if you can't tell, nigga, I'm saying that shit publicly, nigga. I'm in love, nigga. With this nigga. Shit, ain't no shame in my game, baby. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I ain't gonna play you. Not you, baby. We gonna play together. You hear me? Well, let's do what we came here to do. It's perfect harmony, man. The emotion, the intellect, and the emotion comes hand in hand. It's lovely on this side. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, listen, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do, man. What you want me to do? I know better. That's also me being me. So a lot of you guys are like in fake relationship, fake marriages, you know what I'm saying, doing shit for other people, to please other people, to keep up with the fucking Joneses. You know what I'm saying? What up, Jones? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, man? Of course, when you've been conditioned to think this way, you're going to be a hater. You have to hate. There's competition. There are not many places. It's only number one or number two. But in my father's house, nigga, you good. You welcome. Everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? In my mom and dad house, nigga, listen, man. You'll be all right. There's spaces for everybody. That kind of state of mind, how can you hate on anybody, man? You know, it's not even in my bones. You know what I'm saying? It's nowhere in me. I'm allergic to it. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Get yours, nigga. Why you hating on the boy, man? What you doing? Am I looking too good out here? What's going on? Let me find out. So again, to be yourself, it's Whoa. And as you're doing so, because I'm basically trying to touch on the different aspect of you expressing yourself through your talent, to doing something that you love, through like being with somebody that you love, you really want to be with. So those are all different aspects. And by you, for you to become complete, to become whole, what you're doing is you are uniting all of these. You are bringing all of them in alignment. Then what you're truly doing, that's when at this point, life, you're living life. There's a difference. A lot of you guys are just having an experience. Can you imagine, like, yo, nigga, think about it. How can you be married and you feel lonely? That's crazy. That's crazy. It's one thing to feel alone. You know, of course, it's going to happen if, let's say, your significant other is not here, then you feel alone. But lonely, that means even when the motherfucker's around you, that motherfucker's not around you. Like, what? Really? Why are you doing this to yourself? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you playing yourself. You cheating yourself. What the fuck? You know, then you doing that to yourself? Nigga. Now, that's when you go, that nigga's crazy. Because crazy people play themselves. But again, if you're being you, how can you play yourself? So a lot of us are pretty much settling down, just having, you know what I'm saying, you're closed off, like, that's why you want to say you married. But then you're lonely, then you're talking shit. Because you feel like shit. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't even do anything wrong. You feel like shit, you talking shit. God damn. But as we're talking about those different layers of you being yourself, because the closer you are to you, the closer you are to God, meaning the closer you are to the divine essence in you. That's that self-awareness. That's getting to a state of enlightenment. That's what being enlightened is. The Christ consciousness. That's what that shit is, my niggas. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what that shit is. I just did that there. Yeah, that was me. I did it. That was me. I did that. Definitely did. So, damn, that shit is so, it's fully loaded, man. We could go in so many different layers. But the bottom line is this, though. The bottom line, I mean, there's so many bottoms here, man. Like, the bottom of the bottom lines. Like, damn. So, being yourself, the closer you are to you, the closer you are to your essence. And that radiance, that beauty, that is reaching that state of enlightenment, like I was talking about. Now you shit, nigga, you shine like a diamond out here. And that's how the spirit has fully opened itself up. That's why if you're being true to yourself, you'll never be false to nobody else. In other words, you're not playing yourself. But if you're playing yourself, well, you're playing everybody else. How would you not play everybody else because you're playing yourself? It all makes sense. You're not doing anything wrong, but you got to understand what's taking place. We ain't here to judge you, man. We're here to elevate. You feel me? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we're doing. It's that way. Yeah, all the way. All the way that way, baby. So that state of consciousness is the highest state of consciousness. But most importantly, it all has to do with you being you, that alignment. Let's just say, even if we were to look at it in the grossest ways, right? Even being yourself, let's just say if you want to say, well, I mean, it's all, we're talking about the same thing, but I was in different layers with it. But let's just say, you know what I'm saying, in this, when you go to school, you being yourself, you're not being everybody else, you're not even competing with anybody. Like, if you go to high school, you're just being you, you'll be too busy being you. You cannot compete with anybody else. So if you're not competing with anybody else, how can you hate on anybody else? It's only at that point that you become your own competition. Oh, that's a beautiful game. Oh, you're going to be elevated, nigga. Shit, I just got elevated just now. So this is fully loaded, as cliche as it may sound, but it's fucking powerful. And there's different layers of understanding of what that shit is. Because being yourself can also be God, nigga. Be the God that you are. Or at least acknowledge it. Or, let's just say, you at least acknowledge certain divine qualities in you. So you can say that way, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, the Father and the Son. I got certain qualities of that motherfucker. Okay, well, it makes you family, nigga. Get comfortable. Get comfy, motherfucker. Shit, you family, motherfucker. How you gonna act? Come on, man. Get comfortable. Stop it. You're too stiff, man. Relax, baby. Relax, man. Let go. You feel me? You gotta loosen up, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be light on the job, baby. Shit, you got me wilding over here. But anyway, so now the gist of me pretty much showing you those different dimensions on how to look at, or even the process of being yourself, how much of a fully loaded statement that shit is. It's like, it's incredible. But depending on how you're looking at it, in so many different ways, you know, you're gonna see integrity. You're gonna see self-respect. You're not gonna see competition. You're not gonna see hate. It comes through the state of mind, baby. What are you doing? How did you get it so wrong? Why are you doing this to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, you get it wrong, but that wrong? Damn, it's right in front of you. How did you miss it? How did you miss that? Don't be too harsh on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm wilding. Um, Now, being true to yourself, this shit is crazy. It's like, I mean, it's so crazy that it's not even crazy. You feel me? Like, there's so much to it. You know what I'm saying? It's you know what I'm saying? Whoever's saying that shit to yourself is saying a whole lot to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, but again, to get back to what I was saying before, like, on so many different layers, just you being you, how beneficial it is. And pretty much I was talking about those benefits, and that's what they're talking about when they talking about those spiritual laws. Was it spiritual laws? I can't recall, but there is a terminology for it. Though when they talk about the law of the spirit, when you're living by the spirit, you forgive, you love, you embrace, you have compassion. Well, all of that is derived from what I was just talking about. That type of understanding, that type of mind conditioning. Because all you're doing when you are aligning with yourself, you are conditioning yourself for yourself. And this is for you, baby. Y'all gotta rewind a couple of these things though, because I know the way I be talking. We're channeling live too. So a couple of things gotta be rewind. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You gotta rewind a few things, baby. You'll catch it though on the rerun. But the closer you are to yourself, the closer you are to God. Can you believe this? Like, it's not even a matter of belief, but it's like when I always talk about, I always tell people, even your speech or your expression, anything that you're expressing, you acting out, is simply a representation of your mentality. That's why in the Kabbalion they tell you it's all mental. Now, there are different methods in which you express yourself. You can write it down, you could jot it down, you could talk like I'm talking now in your action. You can't hide who you are, bro. So you're not, if you think man, it's like you hiding in front of people that don't see you. The fuck? You trying to hide in front of people that don't see you. Then now you think you're a great liar. Or you think you're a great manipulator. You know what I'm saying? You only maneuvering somebody that don't know. That's like you leading a blind person wherever the fuck you want to. But they're already blind, so you're taking advantage of them. If that's the type of game you're playing, okay. I know it wouldn't do anything for me though. There's no gain in that. You know what I'm saying? There's no gain. You know what I'm saying? But I would lead the blind, you know what I'm saying, so they can see though. Not for me to take advantage of them. Nah, this is too small. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hide in front of blind people. That's why I don't cast my pearl before swine. That's why you don't cast your pearls before swine, man. If you're doing that, man, you're tripping. In other words, they telling you why you trying to hide, but they can't see you. That's crazy. They're already blind. You know what I'm saying? Unless if you don't believe in your own sight. And most likely that's what it is. Like you're not looking at it correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like you're crazy. Literally crazy. You see what I'm saying? And that's why this is a mental institution, man. You came here to get the work. Some of us got to be held behind, though. We're being held behind. This is Earth School, baby. You know, this is for the bright ones. You know what I'm saying? The Christ ones. That's what this is talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? The initiates, the one who are waking up. It is what it is. What's going on, my boy? Come on, it's that time, baby. You already know. So, being yourself is just incredible. But most importantly, I was also telling you about also the art or the science of ignorance, right? How did you get to be the way you are before you become who you are? So we're talking about more on the detail or the technical aspect of understanding your mind conditioning because that plays a big part in how you're looking at yourself. Your perspective. That's why no matter how you want to talk about it, you are the creator of your life. Whether you want to say, let's just say, there is a God outside of us, and just so you know, I believe in that too. Not necessarily a God as a person, but there's something greater, the universe. In fact, oh my God, and I already talk about that shit too, right? When you become conscious, that's why your consciousness is a reflection of your body. Now you stop looking at your physical body. Now you become one with the cosmos. You become cosmic. So when you're becoming you, when you are in that type of connection with yourself, you are acknowledging your divinity and you are resting in it. So what that shit does to you at that point, oh my God, man, this shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That was around the time Clef was a badass, you know what I mean? What's going on, Uncle? You doing good, baby. You know what I'm saying? Respect, nigga, you know what I mean? I saw you, you know what I'm saying? Well, we here too, nigga. So, we're really talking about like the different dimensions of you being yourself, how fully loaded that statement is. But most importantly, how uncliche or non-cliche that it is. It's not cliche at all. Just like, yo, if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. So what people don't understand, they think selfish is self-love. No. Selfish is when you're looking to use other people to your benefit. not for you, but for your external benefit. That's what selfish is. Self-love is that's why I wouldn't give you anything that I'm not giving to myself. And that's what the major difference is. That's why they don't equate. That's why the more you love yourself, the more humble you are. The more, meaning by you being humble, you are, it's a reflection or a depiction of how respectful that you are to yourself and others. Let's just say fuck others for now, but to yourself, nigga. Like, the reason why I don't judge motherfuckers is because I respect myself so much, nigga. The fuck? I love me too much. I love you too much to live without you loving me back. I love you too much. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's the song I sing for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Tell that bitch I love you too fucking much, nigga. Stop playing. For you to be a hoe, bitch. Oh, nah, we ain't gonna let that happen. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna give you that proper, you know what I'm saying, that proper medicine. And that's when the whole parenting comes in understanding the different elements. And me being a spiritual healer, listen, I'm sticking it to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm sticking it like deep into these niggas. So much so, they're not even fucking aware. But they're fucking badasses too. Because, you know, it takes two to tango. I'm seeing where they at with it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's in the genes. It could be that too. But, like, it's an honor. Like, damn. Like, even when I'm looking at my son, like, this motherfucker. The energy, the integrity is already there. This nigga ain't playing. I do what I want. Nigga, I got you though. You know what I'm saying? But we're just gonna get your desires for you to be in control of your desires. Self-mastery. I got you, nigga. Cause, you know, I am the same. I'm just gonna make him a better version already of what I already have. That's why you definitely gotta fuck with the ancestors. I have already done the work for this little nigga. He doesn't know it yet. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna have to give him the game, but he's gonna have to play it though. But you know what I'm saying? But he'll be, you know what I'm saying, if he follow the rules, he'll be all right. And those rules are pretty much in alignment with who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm so motherfucking happy over here. I want this motherfucker to be happy. Happy people want other people to be happy. Hurt people hurt other people. Not intentionally, but that's what they know. You see what I'm saying? It's like if you're stepping into a dark room, you don't know who's coming. You know what I'm saying? You just punch somebody. It is what it is. You see what I'm saying? You were afraid. Well, that's how you reacted. So hurt people has to protect themselves, like in certain ways. Another way of saying that, you can't give what you don't have. But to attain that, you know, state of understanding, that's by you have to rewire how your mind was being conditioned. So in other words, truly, spirituality, man, it's you sincerely, you programming yourself for you, man. You creating your own self. Anyway, we're not gonna make this too long. You know what I'm saying? So guys, check me out tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about the masculine and the feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? It's hump day. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna go downhill from there. And that's what pretty much I've been doing every Wednesday, man. So, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely want to go live too, because, you know, that shit, there's a whole lot to talk about. Nigga, you already know, especially when it comes to the union of the feminine and the masculine energy. There's a whole bunch of shit to talk about, just to spark shit up a little bit, make it, digestible. So, you got to put the medicine in their fucking dessert. So, like the gummy for kids. We're going to get you your third flute, and we're going to add a whole lot of sugar in it. Don't worry, I got you. Don't worry, you know what I'm saying? I know it was too sour. You don't like it that way. Daddy got you. We're gonna add some molasses in that bitch, nigga. Some of that, sugar cane. You know what I mean? Because nigga from the island. So we're gonna give you that work that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you're drinking over here, man. That's why we drink rum. And when, the spirit's coming through, you already know. You know what I'm saying? And rum, by the way, when you hear like 150 proof, that means you have to divide that by 2. It gives you the alcohol content in it. There's a whole bunch of spirit in that motherfucker. So 150, that's 75%. When you really go to your liquor store, check out the other fucking liquors or spirits. They're like, for the most part, you'll get about 40%. So the rum, nigga, so you already know. You already. I'm not even going to say the no part, nigga. You already. Too many words. I want to keep it short. You already. We're going to keep it tall while we're keeping it short, baby. You know what I'm saying? We're keeping it tall and short. That's what we do here, man. Extremities meet. And that's the power of the word, too. And that's why it's not about what you say, but how you say it. But now, with that being said, I'm going to have to let you guys go from here. But definitely, man, like on every Wednesdays, technically my goal, I don't know if it's going to be on a YouTube or motherfucking IG. I would have to, we'll see, you know what I'm saying? But definitely, man, we're going to keep it a Wednesday. We're going to make it a Wednesday thing where we're going to be, and you already know, there's a whole lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So let's have some fun, you know what I'm saying? Let's, give you some gummies. All right, now with that being said, you already know, Aisha, Brah, Mali.